Hello, Persona fans, and welcome back to Trinity Soul Tuesdays, the show where I cover an episode of Persona Trinity Soul every 2 weeks and encourage you all to watch along with me. When we last left our protagonist, Shin Kanzato, he'd just awoken to his persona, and through total OPBS, made this persona user, Yuji, become the artist formerly known as a persona user. But before he can get too comfortable, he's tracked down and chased by a stalk of broccoli, who tries to shoot him with persona lasers from Nebuchadnezzar. God, these villains have the worst persona names. Abel comes back out and he decides to nope, the F out of there. The broccoli reports back to this guy, who I didn't mention earlier because he's boring, while Yuji is popping persona pills like candy. Broccoli is going to investigate Shin. Boring guy decides he needs to take care of Ryo for interfering with their plans earlier. Everyone have their jobs? Good. Go Team Evil. Meanwhile, Shin manages to make it home and decides to just lie on the floor, despite his bed being only a few feet away. I usually consume far more alcohol than he did before I make that kind of decision. In the morning, Jun and Ryo eat breakfast in uncomfortable silence, so I'm gonna break the silence by talking about something I've wanted to mention for years. Why does anime breakfast bread always look so good? Seriously, what kind of bread is that? Can I get some of this? I have never eaten anything even half as delicious as anime breakfast bread looks. Jun finds Shin asleep on the floor, and Shin immediately confides in his brother about the traumatic experience he had last night, explaining it in such eloquent terms as Jun either doesn't believe him or just doesn't care. Seeing that they may be nervous about their first day in a new school, Ryo comforts his younger brothers by telling them that they should both leave this town as quickly as possible and never return. Okay, bye. Shin decides to put his best foot forward at his new school by sleeping until lunchtime, which, to give him some credit, Makoto was out for an entire week after his awakening. He gets woken up by pink-haired mad girl from the pilot, who we learn is named Megumi, and when Shin tries to recall where he's seen her before, she gets embarrassed because she thinks the new guy's hitting on her. As they're about to exchange phone numbers, we meet the greatest character of all time, Afro Junpei, aka Takuro. With everyone distracted by the majesty of Afro Takuro's afro, no one notices Kanaru sneak up on them. And in this one scene alone, we have pretty much built our standard persona party. There's protagonist, girl, comic relief sidekick, slightly less sassy girl. All we're really missing is overly adorable mascot that doesn't go to our school, and we've got Jun, so I say close enough. Takafuro has some big kids pull him away for a favor known as Kagenuki, or shadow extraction, but Megumi warns him it's dangerous. He maturely responds with a pfft, whatever, leaving Shin fairly confused. At the hospital, Ito here, head of the Criminal Affairs Division, confronts Ryo. Since all of the kids that Ryo had put under police protection were victims of the reverse attacks, and all 4 of Ito's cops that were assigned to protect them ended up as apathy syndrome victims, Ito kind of brings up a perfectly valid point that maybe Ryo should be sharing more information about what's going on with them. Ryo maturely responds with a pfft, whatever, leaving Ito fairly confused. Ryo is also being spied on by Boring Guy and Yuji, who, fun fact, Boring Guy, Toma, has the same voice actor as Yu Narukami, so, that's kinda cool. He observes that they're both clearly following the same list of people to either attack or protect, and since none of the incidents have been made public, he thinks they should all have a nice, friendly chat. Back with Shin, who's just kind of minding his own business when, oh hey look, passed out guys. Oh hey look, I know that afro. Takuro explains he just did a quick shadow extraction on them, which the Megami Tensei Wiki describes as the practice of forcefully drawing out someone's persona by manifesting the practitioner's shadow into a persona. The show describes it as
まあな、ドラッグみてえなもんだしな。ドラッグ？みてえなもんつったろ?
Cool. How it actually works isn't really explained, but I know touching is involved. So Takuro decides to show Shin, and the two go touch each other behind a shed or something. Shin is apparently very good at the touching because it causes Takuro's persona to burst out and proclaim,
I'm Spartacus!
But then Abel is all like,
I'm Spartacus!
And I do really like Spartacus's design. If this were a video game, Takuro would probably be in my party based on that alone. And after that intense touching session, the two lie in awkward silence before Takuro's all like, want to do it again? And Shin's all like, no! And then, this.
一度でいいからあなたにしてほしくて。
She's talking about shadow extraction, by the way. Pervs. But before they can go off and do it, Megumi shows up and they have to lie and say they're going to dinner, to which Megumi decides that being a third wheel sounds fun, and why not invite Shin along to be a fourth wheel? After dinner, they hit up a karaoke bar, and we see the lowlife creep Megumi was yelling at in the first episode, before Megumi rocks the mic with the intensity of 1,000 suns. The girls head off to the bathroom, leading Takuro to bug Shin for another round of touching because he wants to feel that power again. Hey Shin, what is that power called anyway?
Persona.
Wait, what the heck does that mean? Hold on, let me put the subtitles on.
Persona.
Oh! He said the thing! Meanwhile, Megumi and Kanaro are being sexually assaulted by Lowlife and his friends because they paid a karaoke worker to drug their drinks. And there's absolutely nothing funny about that. And that is where this episode ends. I liked this episode a bit more than the pilot. It still got the problem of having to lay out that exposition, but it felt a bit more fluid in this one, and getting to meet some of our other main characters really makes it start to feel like more of a proper Persona story. Those of you that are watching along at home, what did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again in 2 weeks, but for now, so long. On the next episode of Trinity Soul Tuesdays. Oh man, those guys are so literally dead.